You all are allowing delinquent employees to sit on their sofas at home instead of actually getting to work and doing their jobs. This is absolutely unacceptable.
So our employees are working whether they are in the office or at home, and they are
Are you monitoring the work that they are doing from home on a regular basis?
Yes, we are.
Every employee, do you have the numbers of the hours that are submitted? Are you counting how many times they're logging into their computers and responding to casework?
So our employees are subject to the same performance management processes and oversight they are whether they're teleworking or working in an office. And we have systems in place that our managers use to schedule, assign, and track workloads. And that includes individual employee workloads in many cases. So real-time understanding of what actions are being processed at any particular given time. Additionally, our employees are required to be accessible to their supervisors, clients, colleagues, and external parties during work hours via a variety of means, including instant messaging, video platforms, and telephone. They are connected to the workplace, whether they are in the office or at the home.
Representative Lauren Boebert went into that hearing ready to lay into that Social Security official over the huge backlog of applications that they're dealing with. But the only problem is that she came with assumptions based off of the Republican Party narrative instead of facts.
Then why is the backlogs for Social Security applicants increased from 41,000 to 107,000?
Because we've been historically underfunded for a number of years now.
I don't think you're underfunded. You're funded at the Nancy Pelosi levels. At the Democrat levels, we just continued that same funding.
So I would say
at pandemic level spending.
So I would say we'd have an increase of over 8 million beneficiaries over the last 10 years. At the same time, we experienced our lowest work staffing levels at the end of FY22. That's a math problem. I mean, that is a problem. If you have those workloads, increasing, and you don't have the staff to take care of those workloads, you're going to have the backlogs that you're talking about, Representative.
Yes, another case of Republicans sabotaging an agency's ability to operate by cutting funding, then blaming that agency and their political opponents for the problems that they created. They literally operate to destroy systems, lie and complain about the destruction by blaming everyone else, then promising to do more of the same if they get reelected. They're so entrenched in this destructive cycle, they don't even know how it should work. But the one thing they do know is that they must continue to help their wealthy donors, at the expense of everyone else, of course. Democratic Representative Brendan Boyle has a simple answer.
It's pretty clear on what side I come down. More revenues into the Social Security Trust Fund, and we will be able to say, for the lifetime of my daughter, who in the year 2100, God willing, if she's still alive, would be 86 years old, I'll be able to look her in the eye and say, Social Security will be there for the rest of your lifetime and beyond that, simply by bringing in more revenues from those who are in the top 1% of earners. I think that is fair. I think that is appropriate. And for those who disagree, I would be very interested in seeing what their plan is.
Well, their plan is a special fiscal commission to plan ways to tackle the nation's debt. But Jim McGovern clearly illustrated that these ideas only exist to avoid simple solutions that we've already heard, which is tax the wealthy and corporations instead of giving regular Americans money away to them.
That I am deeply skeptical of a fiscal commission. First, there already is a bipartisan forum where these kinds of decisions should get made. It's called Congress. And we shouldn't pass the buck to a fiscal commission to do the work that we ourselves don't want to do. If we don't want to do it, maybe we should leave. There isn't some secret formula. We either cut spending, tax the rich, or a combination of both. We don't need a commission to tell us that. We just need common sense. And I want to echo what the former chairman of this committee, Mr. Yarmuth, said in October on the same issue. The problem is not the process, it's the people. There is no shortage of legislation to address our fiscal challenges. Legislation has been introduced to extend Social Security solvency indefinitely, to demand that the Pentagon actually pass an audit, and to end the billions of dollars of subsidies we give to big oil, just to name a few. Committees and subcommittees of jurisdiction can hold hearings and markups. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what the American people pay us to do. The buck should stop with us. We also don't need a commission to acknowledge a few simple mathematical facts. And as the chairman says, no one has clean hands here. But for decades, Republicans have driven up the debt with their tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. Of the $33.8 trillion national debt, $10 trillion, nearly a third, is from the Bush and Trump tax cuts. My friends on the other side promised that both of those tax cuts would trickle down and pay for themselves. They were wrong.